Welcome to the Three Path Profits podcast, where we'll talk about business, finance, social media, and everything in between on our paths to profit. Three different people, three different side hustles, one common goal: profit. My name is
My name
Kyle,
is Lexi.
My name is Amanda.
and we're your hosts. If you want more details about each of our side hustles, please check out our episode 6 from last week. To set the proper expectations for today's episode, our format will be as follows. We'll start today's pod, each discussing our updates from last week, what our goals are for the upcoming week, and we'll wrap up today's pod with a quick summary and some expectations moving forward. Let's dive in. Lex, you're up
All
first.
right. So I feel like I have kind of updates all over the place. So I'm going to be kind of all scattered today. So my first thing is I downloaded Adobe Photoshop Express, and that worked absolutely perfectly with like editing a design on an object that I could make. How I know I was talking about how Canva wasn't really good for it, but Adobe Photoshop Express didn't cost me anything either, and it worked amazingly. I was able to completely cut out the background of like the picture I wanted to put on the cup, and I was able to kind of be able to see what it would look like if I were to make it. So I'm definitely going to be using that as kind of like my, instead of making them items, to be able to show people what I could make. Um, Kyle had mentioned that he would want a bookmark, so I went ahead and got acrylic bookmarks from Amazon, and they were 30 for $11 plus shipping. Um,
I love the acrylic
Mhm. Yeah,
over the other or cardstock
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
I think it's cleaner, it's higher quality.
yeah.
I
So
like
like
it.
without anything on it, like the bookmarks only like 36 cents a piece. So honestly, that's not bad at all. Again, like you were talking about even last week, Kyle, that I could do a bunch of them and it not be a very expensive product to make. So I wasn't able to meet up with the friends I made the wine glasses for to give them, but I did end up posting on my Instagram of the bookmark that I made for Kyle to kind of promote, get that started, since I wasn't going to be able to have my like friends that I made the wine glasses for kind of promote for me or with them. So that's on hold until I can get together with them. But with that, there was a lot that happened with that Instagram post. I mean, I like within the first hour, I think there was like 15 people came to my Instagram page, like two people clicked the link, and then I looked and it 22 hours, 28 people clicked on my Instagram and four people went to the link, but that was just clicking the link from my actual story. With my actual stats on my Etsy page, there was a total of, in the last 30 days, 49 views and 26 visits. And if you look at it within the last 7 days, which is when I posted on my Instagram story, there was 40 views and 20 visits. So
Heck yeah.
that's a hell of a lot more traffic into the shop. Obviously, that promotion or me posting it on my Instagram did a lot. And thank you to Amanda and Kyle for also posting it on theirs. And Amanda is my first customer. She did purchase one of the bookmarks I made. So it was
How much did you list it at?
$3.
And
Three
Mhm.
yeah,
dollars.
and it was like $5 of shipping. I think it was like 8 something total whenever I bought it.
8.52 with
Yeah.
shipping.
Wow.
So I was, because then I was, so then to kind of go off of what I listed it as, I knew like since realistically it was only like 36 cents a bookmark, it wasn't going to really cost me much on vinyl per se, because the vinyl comes in a lot, and obviously like it's not that much material to put on a 5 by 2 inch bookmark.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I knew it wasn't really going to be that much vinyl, depending on what the quote or whatever I was putting on it wasn't really going to take me that long either. So I knew that was probably a good starting range just to kind of be competitive with other people that are doing similar things. Um, so I actually totaled with the pretty much making it, shipping cost, everything. I probably made about like between 150 and $2 in revenue just off of that. So to go through the shipping process, it was literally the easiest thing I could have ever done. Like I genuinely I went in to the order, I clicked like get shipping label. I just needed to weigh the item, say how big the item was and like the packaging, and then say which like you could do like UPS ground, UPS priority, like FedEx, like you could do so many different options. And I just picked like the regular ground service because it was like 402.
All of that's through Etsy?
Yes.
That's cool.
And I was able to click all of that. The UPS will come to my house and pick up the package. I don't even have to go anywhere.
That's cool.
That's
And
convenient.
all I had to
Yeah,
do was
that's nice.
just print the shipping label and put it on the package, and they're coming tomorrow to come pick it up. So
Sweet.
it was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't really sure what to expect on whether I should just go to the post office or if I should try to give the Etsy shipping a try. But I would definitely be using that again in the future because of how easy it was.
Do you have a scale?
Yes. I went out and bought one $10 one up to like 11 pounds. Wasn't really that. It was a cheap thing, so it wasn't really that bad. That's kind of up with that, with the shipping and everything, what the revenue was. And then, so also I found this thing on Google. It was, you can like use Explore on Google to see what's trending, which I had no idea was a thing. So essentially, like you can click or search different items, and then you can see where they're trending in the United States by which state, and then also in which state, which like location, whether that be like Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, like anywhere in PA, I can see like which items are trending based on which location they're in. So that was really cool. I'm definitely going to be using that a little bit more just to kind of see like what's trending right now, and also like be able to use that just to make whatever items. I think that was majority of that. But I think also I've paid a lot more attention on the pictures I was taking, especially with the bookmark. Even though like they weren't like high end pictures, I felt like I was actually like caring just a little bit more about what they looked like rather than just like taking like a random side shot and then posting it to the Etsy shop. So
I thought the pictures looked really good.
The pictures looked really good. They were very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, so I felt like actually caring about those definitely probably helped as well, just to kind of like show like genuinely what it looks like, not just like a weird side angle. But so pretty much my goals moving forward here now are continue with promoting pretty much really anything I make. I want to be promoting on my personal, which also goes to my Facebook as well. So anyone who has like me on Facebook as well can see all of those posts and stories. And kind of using the Adobe Photoshop Express just to kind of see what I can make, even though I don't necessarily have to make it, which is really helpful, especially with being able to do proofs for people just to make sure to see if they even like it. So I don't have to make it and then send them a proof of it on whatever it is. And then they'll be like, just kidding, I hate it. I do want to sign up for the EIN number and figure out the LLC just to kind of get that over and done with so I don't have to keep saying I need to do it, but then not actually do it. Because I feel like that could definitely be something that would happen. I'd be like, oh yeah, I need to. And then I just keep pushing it off. And then just kind of continue searching through like the Google Explorer or ads, and to continue to keep up with how much I've spent, what revenue I have. And it's also really nice too in the Etsy shop dashboard. You can go into your finances and it'll show you your monthly statements, and that will tell you exactly if an order is placed, how much the shipping is, what the listing fee is, what the taxes are, because even for Amanda's, they took out Florida taxes. Like it's everything like laid out down to a T, which is really nice because you can see exactly what your money is going to, whether that be sales, fees, marketing, or shipping. So they have like different categories.
I have a question kind of tying into that.
Yes.
Does like when someone buys, like whenever I bought the bookmark,
Yes.
does the money go directly into your directly into your like Etsy account, or does it go directly into your bank account? And if it goes into your Etsy account, like is there a certain limit of how often you can cash out kind of thing?
So it goes directly into your Etsy account. So you have essentially it's like into your, I forget what they call it, but it'll stay in your Etsy account, and then all of your listing fees, which is like 20 cents a month for any listings that you have on your shop, can come out of that money automatically.
Oh,
The
cool.
shipping comes out of that money automatically once I paid for it through Etsy. So it's really nice because that money just comes out, and then once it'll go through, however much I have left over, that's the net profit,
Right.
that can go into my account, which you can choose. I have it to go into my bank account weekly, but I believe you can do it. Let me see when you can do it. Yeah, so you can do every day, once per week, every 2 weeks, or once per month. And I do not believe there's a cap on how much, like, if you're making a bunch
Yeah.
of money and you want it to go in every day based on
Yeah.
however much, I don't think there's necessarily a matter on that. And it is really nice that you can just have your bank account hooked up. It'll automatically go in.
Yeah.
So whatever I have left over for whatever day it's going to send in, it'll send that to my bank account.
That's cool. So it happens automatically. It's not like you have to go in and like click like transfer balance or something like you do on Venmo.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool.
And then I was also looking to, I know, kind of off of that, since we were talking about how Etsy can just like take the money off of your orders. I was looking at like the Etsy ads. I know we kind of talked about that in previous, but I'm not really sure. Like, there's a whole marketing page on like the Etsy shop dashboard. So I'm thinking about doing that, but we'll see how much I actually do that or think about doing that once I'm still promoting on Instagram right now, just to kind of see how that goes rather than fully like a full-fledged paying for the Etsy ads. I'd rather my shop be a little bit more, yeah.
Organic.
I feel that
So
with my stuff
yeah,
too.
so I'm just gonna kind of see how we go with just promoting on my personal stuff, and then we'll kind of move forward. But yeah, so kind of excited to see what happens and happy that there was a lot of traffic to my shop.
I got a few more comments than questions. So Kyle, do you have questions before?
Yeah. Just go over the revenue and cost numbers again and what all those were.
So for the shipping for the item was $402 to ship Amanda's bookmarks. To each bookmark is
And you listed it at what?
$3. Each bookmark is 36 cents each. Because I got it for, I think it was $11 total. That included shipping for 30.
You had to pay for shipping on Amazon to get the bookmarks?
Yeah, it was still Prime, but like they still sometimes like,
What?
I know, that's what I'm like, wait, what?
wait. You got me all. Wait.
So when you
I mean, I believe you. I haven't paid for shipping on Amazon in a long time.
Maybe it was. I don't know. You got me all scared now.
other fees or something. Either way, you can look at that later. So when you say you listed it at $3, like that price is what Amanda saw on her
Mhm.
screen, right? And is that what she paid, or does she pay
She
the
pays
shipping
the shipping
cost?
costs.
Yeah,
So
it's
Amanda,
separate.
what
Like
was
I
that?
could see that the price of the bookmark was $3, and then I could see also that shipping was like $5.99, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 5 straight through. The only
Yeah,
time,
whatever it
I think
was.
it's
Yeah.
5 on all domestic orders, and then it's 20 on all international.
Yeah.
So like I can go in and set exactly like a fixed rate of what I want the shipping to be. But I knew since like these were going to be smaller items, I'll keep it at the $5. Like if it's going to be a bigger item, then I'm going to have to go more because I'm going to be spending more on
Right.
the
Do
shipping.
you think it made a big difference that there was 2 in there, since technically, like, I know I paid for 1, but you made me 2?
No,
It probably wasn't a
I
significant
don't think
difference, I
so.
wouldn't think.
Honestly, I don't really think it probably would have been like maybe like 50 cents cheaper because regardless,
Yeah.
it's going in the same packaging. It's just difference
Right.
of weight. Like
Right.
I already bought like the little packaging things to send them out in off of Amazon. So they're all the same size. It's just going to be the difference in weight.
Yeah.
How much time did it take you to make just one?
Like 20 minutes because it took me 40 minutes to make 2.
Okay. So what I think is, I think you're just pricing that too low. Check your Venmo. I'm so serious. Like I think you can charge a $30 price tag on that type of a bookmark, and people would pay without a flinch.
Did you just Venmo her $30?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
100%.
mean, yeah, you do have to like. I saw this TikTok the other day that this guy was talking about the value of time and how
Yeah.
time is really money, and like you value your time so much more if you set yourself your own hourly rate. So like come up with a number of what you're worth per hour
Yeah.
and like use that to kind of help yourself calculate what you're going to charge.
Yeah.
And also have you looked to see what other people are charging for personalized bookmarks on there?
Yeah, and it's like I've seen anywhere from like $10 to $20
Yeah.
on the acrylic side of it, not
So that's I wrote down when you made the comment, I want to be competitive price wise, and I wrote why. Like, I mean, it's a serious question. It's very open ended, just to get you
yeah.
thinking about like why do I need to just compete on price when price isn't the only reason a consumer makes a
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
Let the market determine if your price is too high or too low. $3, that's fucking too low. You know
Well,
what I mean? Like
and
you're investing serious time, energy, and effort into this, building a really cool product that for someone like me, a $3 price tag, if I see that, I almost don't want to buy it because it signals it's low quality.
Fair.
When I see that picture that you posted, it's a good aesthetic, it's a good looking product, it's coming across my screen as an advertisement. If I see that it's $3, I think this thing's a piece of
yeah.
shit or this is a
Yeah.
scam. If I see $30 with a bunch of good reviews or
Yeah.
whatever, I'm much more inclined to buy that product just because I know that price signals
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah, and I think $10 to $15 is even still like very, very reasonable. Like,
Yeah.
so if you're
Yeah.
trying to be competitive, I think even that is still a competitive price. And I don't know how this works on your end, but like when have used Etsy before, a lot of times it has like percentage off sale kind of things. So you could even set it higher and then like use a
Offer
sale.
sale, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a 30% off sale that goes around year round.
Yeah. Yeah, like set it high,
365 days
set
a
it
year,
30% off so
30%
that the
off.
30% off is like around $10 or $15. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly like I think I put it so low just because I knew it wouldn't take me that much to make. And
And you want to get
yeah.
sales. Like I see the other side of the coin of like when you're first getting started, you're so eager just to list something low enough that it gets sold
Yeah.
and that you're getting customers. You're
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
customers. And right now, like I mentioned on the last episode, like you reiterated today, is like you want it to be organic. What does that mean? That means the majority of your first customers are going to be friends
Yeah.
and family.
Mm-hmm.
Friends and family are 100% going to support you and pay a higher price premium because they know it's coming from
Yeah.
you. And the other example that I made last week is like I would buy these, for example, for Father's Day,
Yeah.
for Mother's Day,
Yeah.
for a birthday, for a Christmas present. Those are all emotionally charged gifts that for sure I'm willing to spend $30 on something
Yeah.
like that. It's a personalized gift, shows a lot of effort, shows a lot of thought. Um, that's your target market to start, and they're willing to pay the premium for your service specifically and a better quality
Yeah.
product.
Fair enough. I think okay. We'll change it right now so I have no Okay. Do we think
The other thing I have of with the let the market differentiate your price is differentiate with service, differentiate with shipping, differentiate with
Yeah.
quality, differentiate with follow-ups. Things like as soon as someone makes a purchase, send them an email thanking them for their purchase. Shipping, why don't you just cover that? Increase the price, say free shipping. People love to see free
That
shit.
I like
Quality,
that a
I
lot.
like that. Yeah.
quality, put 100% guarantee
Yeah.
on there. Like if you don't like it, send it back, or a 30-day guarantee or
Which I
anything
do
like
have the
that.
30-day guarantee. The returns and
I
exchanges isn't in
Awesome.
there.
That's good.
in the I just like clicked and ordered it so fast I don't know that I even read the description because I knew what it was. But in your description, do you say that like you'll send a proof of it? Because that whenever I order personalized shit on Etsy,
Yeah.
I love when it says like I'll send you like a proof of what the font and what the color will look like. Obviously, like before you actually stick it on the bookmark,
Yeah.
but like a picture of what it looks like on your computer kind of thing.
I think I thought I did, but now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't look that I did. Because I know I
And that,
definitely thought about that. Like, just like I was gonna do that anyway. Like, I sent
yeah,
you a proof,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
let you pick out the exact font that you wanted. Like, and
right.
definitely kind of back to your thing, Kyle. Too. I did actually send Amanda a message. I don't know if she got it, but
I saw the email notification. I didn't actually click on it because I knew you already made them.
yeah.
It was
So
yeah.
I actually went and every time again someone orders, I'm going to say thank you for ordering, whatever. And then as soon as I ship it, I have a message that says thank you for your order. If you're getting this message, that means I'm shipping out your item the next day and you should receive it shortly. I appreciate you helping out my small business. Enjoy.
Got it.
With the shipment, handwritten
I already
card.
did that too.
Love it. This is
Love
all
it.
such good
Yeah.
things.
And then the last piece that I have on quality, shit, it just spaced my mind. What was I gonna say? Oh, reviews. How can Amanda and I give you a
Oh
review
yeah.
so that you have 2 reviews as soon as effing possible? You need
Yeah.
everyone and anyone that you know to, whether they want to buy something or not, to go on there and validate your store as not being a scam and being a high quality
So
provider.
Kyle, I don't know that you're going to be able to. Whenever you order something on Etsy, though, it doesn't let you review it until you actually get it. Like
Yeah.
it tells me I can't leave a review until June 22nd.
Wow, that's really
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So I wouldn't I don't necessarily know if about I don't know if you can like I know you can favorite my shop. So I don't know if that necessarily counts as like
I think I followed
What
it.
is that?
yeah, like
Favorite
you can
shop?
follow it and favorite it. Like I know Amanda did, one of my other friends did. So I'm not really sure if necessarily you can I guess like
Yeah, do the
yeah, do a
reviews in the traditional
review,
sense.
but yeah.
Um, then as a cav or as a transition from that, like why don't when you get follow up for a personal review and then like send Amanda a text message or an
Yeah.
email or a message, whatever, asking for a review and saying like, do you mind if I post this on our social media? Do you mind if I post this
Yeah.
wherever? Um, that's what people like to see is
Yeah.
reviews.
And pictures with the reviews too.
Yeah. For
For
sure.
I
sure.
look at that heavily.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just looking at some different options right now on Etsy that are similar because whenever I clicked on yours, it said like similar to what you bought.
Yeah.
A lot of them have shipping listed. So I think what would give you the edge is like what Kyle said, listed as the higher price, but with free shipping because
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, that's a
always
way to
gonna do
stand
the one that has the free shipping.
Yeah.
100%.
Also, I don't
Way
know
to
if you've
stand out.
seen this, but you easily could do this and like paint on the back.
I like can't really see it, but I think I know what you're talking about. Like
I'll text
I've
it to
seen
you.
people do that for what's it called? Like signs at their wedding, like their table numbers.
Yeah.
They like
Yeah.
paint the back of the acrylic. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I mean again, like that's so easy to do as well, just to be able to quickly go on that. and
Yeah, like this
paint
one's
the back
listed as
with.
and a lot of them do have the sale listed. This one's originally $19.99 on sale for $14.99 and still has $4.69 shipping.
Okay. So my
You should list it for $30, 30% off,
I'm
shipping
gonna
included.
say 25 with a 30% off free shipping.
I like that. I think 30 is a little high. What's 30% off of 25? $6, like $7?
$8 and oh no, no, $8 and like 33 cents.
Yeah, it would be $17.50 with shipping. I like that. 25, 30% off with shipping included.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I already changed my shipping. Now I'm just trying to figure out how to do the sale.
Yeah, and there's definitely a way to like set the time because some of them say like sale ends in 10 hours and then the one that I just looked at it didn't have an end. So I'm sure that that's one that just like leaves the sale on always, which shit, I would.
Yeah, I would too. Okay. Well, I like this. Good to know.
This was fun.
Yeah, thanks.
We're not done.
Do you have other questions, Kyle? Because I got some other cool ideas too.
The only other one I had down here was what were the reactions when you made the post, but you kind of answered that as I wrote it down. But just from an emotional standpoint, that had to feel pretty good when people are reaching out and people are reposting your shit. And
Yeah, like as I texted you guys in our group chat, like I felt like such a rush. Like I was like unable to go to bed. Like I was so like hyped up on like adrenaline of just like I don't know, and like I know so many people like went to my Etsy shop, like even like my friends who I've told it about, like I haven't told them like necessarily about my Instagram, so like that was my like launch to like them seeing it.
Hard launch.
Yeah, so it was just like cool to like have people like follow that Instagram, like my shop, be able to like actually see like stuff that I'm making. So it's kind of like a surreal feeling, but like a good feeling.
How many followers did you get out of it?
Let's look. I think it was like 4, and that was like all my closest friends who weren't already following.
But that's how you get started. You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 4.
Good.
But yeah, I mean, anything helps. So
yeah. So I have 2 kind of ideas for products, and then my third idea is just that for helping with pictures, you should get the little lights that I have. I'll send you the link. I got them on Amazon. They're super super cheap, and I think it'll I think it'll elevate the quality of your pictures to post exponentially, and like they're so cheap. I'll send you the link for those on Amazon.
Okay.
And then the 2 ideas that I have, the first one, make me something kitchen wise so that I can like advertise for you through my videos. So I had like a couple ideas. The one I think I like the most is like the things that you sit beside your stove that you put like a spoon on whenever it's dirty, and like make like you could even put my Cookin' Depot logo on it, and then I'll put like in the caption like that I got that from your store. And it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be exactly that.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. I don't care what you make, but that way I can like sneak in and include your stuff in my videos too.
Yeah, I love that for sure.
And then another idea just to have on your shop, you could like personalize beer pong cups and like make a game out of it and like put different tasks on each cup. Like, I don't know, take a shot when someone sinks that cup. Like you could put different things on each cup and sell it as a set kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's my other idea.
Yeah, because they make like the hard plastic like red Solo cups.
Yeah. Or it could even be like a clear one. Like it doesn't matter what the cup is, but it could be like a beer pong set that's personalized.
I really
kind of
like
thing.
that. I need to change out of this seat and move to my smaller one again. Also, it really sucks not having AC up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hot in your old room, Lex. This is It's warm.
Did you make the tumblers for us girls for your wedding?
No, at that point, I just ordered them because that was way before I even got my Cricut. I got my
How do
Cricut
you
after.
how do you do that kind of thing? Because that's like, is that the etching thing that you've done before? Because
Um,
it was like not like engraved, but you know what I mean. Like it wasn't just a sticker on it.
was it? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
so there's actually stuff that you can use. I don't know what it's called. I've seen it before. I don't actually like know exactly what it is. But essentially, like you can use the Cricut to make a stencil, but then you can put whatever the stuff it is on the outer layer of like a tumbler cup to essentially get rid of the
Mhm.
color on it.
Right.
And
Because
you'll be
that's
left with the stainless like steel
right.
or whatever their cup is made out of underneath.
Because I was thinking that that could be cool for the spoon thing. I don't know how any of this works, so like do what you want. But just thinking like I don't know how well the vinyl would stay
Yeah.
on washing it that many times and like getting dirty.
Yeah.
So something like that might be
Yeah.
better. But
I'll have
like
to
again,
look
do whatever you
I'll
want.
have to look into how I guess like I'll look into a couple different ways of how they're made to see exactly
Yeah.
what would be best with what I have and kind of go from there. Cuz yeah, I mean I
Yeah.
know like I've seen people do it with like Stanleys before with whatever the stuff that they get to get off that
Yeah.
material, like I've seen people use it. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know again what it is, but I know a lot of people have used it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That was fun.
Love it.
You got anything else, Amanda?
Nope. That's all I got.
Cool. All right. Quick portfolio update. The net value of the accounts, remember, started out as 1,000 flat. It is now at 1,024 cents. So we are up, still in the green. Did have a down week. The S&P was up 1.25%, versus our portfolio was down 1.37% when I put this together. It's doing a little better as of today, but this was prepared for yesterday.
Was it what were you at last
Yes.
week? 1021, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll see that. That's very common, just price fluctuation. Those are supply and demand metrics. And a lot of the times in the short term, they don't necessarily reflect what the true value of the company is. It fluctuates based on those other factors. Best performers of last week, we'll call them the best worst performers because every stock in my portfolio was down besides Ford. Ford was the only one that was in the green for the past week. The VYM was, I think, basically zero or minus 0.01% or something like that. And then Kraft Heinz and Pfizer both had down weeks. Kraft Heinz was down around 5%, and Pfizer was down 6%. Those are pretty decent moves for companies these size. And then dividends last week, we got the TLT declared dividends, and that was payable last week. Prudential, that comes in today actually, and that'll be $1.30 per share. It is a more expensive stock. It's like $115 per share, but each time they pay a dividend, you get $1.30 per share. And they're one of those people who continually increases that dividend, which is why their price usually goes up as well. Pfizer is supposed to pay dividend tomorrow, 42 cents a share. Also have more of a micro update on them for the company of the week. And then the only other dividends that are supposed to come for the portfolio for the rest of the month are Kraft Heinz with 40 cents per share and Bank of America with 24 cents a share at the end of the month on the 28th. And then to kick off July, we have Coca Cola with a 48-cent per share dividend as well. Earnings reports, no reports over the past week. Over on Monday, Bank of America reports, so that'll be something that I'll have an update for next week. Changes in revenue estimates, earnings per share estimates, different trends and forecasts, plus some earnings commentary from their C-suite executives, like their CEO, CFO, and all that stuff. So these are the big events that I talked about. That'll be the most important thing for me in decision making about the portfolio. And like Lexi asked last week, this is where like if they come out with really bad results, is it going to scare me away and dump my position in the portfolio? Probably not. It is more about a long-term trend and believing in the business and the management and all of that. But I will have some updates and opinions on the results that they put forward, and then make some forecasts based off of that. So I'll have updates there for next week. And then the next earnings reports after that are not until middle of July, like Blackstone, Pfizer, and Ford. And then a little micro update on Pfizer. They are performing badly over the past week. Like I mentioned, down some 6%. In 2024, they're still expecting revenues to be between 58 and 60 billion dollars. And that does include $8 billion of COVID-19. So there's a lot of like, that's been a really underperforming area for them. Their sales of COVID products have decreased exponentially and have missed the mark consistently. And it's part of the reason the stock's down 30% year to date and down like 32% over the past 5 years, is because the the COVID play out was just not as good as it was projected to be for the long term. But they do have a ton of other drugs. They have a ton of other offerings. And specifically their cancer research is one big one that I'm looking for growth in the future. But they're constantly engaging in mergers and acquisitions where they're buying other companies that have um, new exponential potentials for gains, because they're buying smaller companies with um, novel treatments and medications and all those things that, if it works and the efficacy is high enough and it becomes like a staple product where they're going to sell it, they can make huge returns off of those M&As. And that's predominantly how they've made their money in the past. And that's what I'll be looking for on their next earnings call as well. Any M&A opportunities that they have moving forward. A little bit of a macro update and some current events. Stock performance over the past week. The S&P and NASDAQ both closed at all new time highs. That was significant. It's always scary to be adding to your portfolios at all-time highs. That means you're paying more for the same basket of goods or the same good than anyone's ever paid for it in history. So that's always just something to note when the markets are at all-time highs. They continually have made new all-time highs. That's how they're at the levels they are today. So it is believed that you can buy at an all-time high and still make a profit. But it's always just something to note. And I have that here. Apple's announcement. Did you guys hear anything on that?
The iOS, there's like some crazy stuff coming out.
Yeah. I was like, it's
Yeah.
all over that are like cheaters are getting so much like with away with now. Like you can hide apps and like all this stuff.
I didn't know about that stuff. The main thing that I heard was the integration of ChatGPT with Siri. So Siri is now going to have expanded capabilities with OpenAI. And that's very scary because they'll be able to access so much more data and be used and leveraged so much more often. And like Elon Musk pushed back on it hard. He was like, if this goes through and this is legit, I'm like banning all of Apple products at my facilities and shit. And he's right. I mean, it is scary because Apple's huge, and if they are incorporating this technology, it's going to really start rapidly growing, which is the scary part of AI. But I didn't hear about all the other app shit that you were just
The
mentioning.
one that I saw, you literally could like open an app with your eyes. Like it literally follows your eyes to see what it's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
That is gross.
Yeah, there was a lot that I was like, I don't really know how
Mhm.
like I feel about it.
We're all gonna be like
Yeah.
going back to flip phones.
I know.
100%. If they have a good looking razor in store next time, I might be back on
Well, yeah,
You know
the.
what?
I don't like
I
the
watched a movie the other day with
Oh, razor.
I watched a movie the other day that the one person in the movie was using a NV3. I'm like, oh my god, I would kill for it.
What's the NV3? Was that slide like
No,
this?
all the NVs were flip, but the NV3 was just kind of like more sleek looking. The NV1 was orange or green, and it was like the flip that had like the
Yeah.
curve. Yeah,
No. Oh, it
yeah,
flipped
yeah.
up. Yeah, I remember.
Trust me,
Yeah. You could use the conduit.
I think the only NV I never had was the 2. I had the NV, I had a couple of those, the NV3, and I had a couple different NV touches because I went through phones like nobody's business back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it does really scare me that they're gonna have AI with Siri because, again, like anytime you talk to Siri, they're gonna have your voice then with through AI, and that's terrifying to me in general.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot more than just your voice.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah. But anyway, the Federal Open Market Committee, that's the FOMC, that's like the Federal Reserve. We've talked about this a few times. They're the group or the committee that sets the interest rates. So when they meet, it's a huge economic event. Everyone's speculating on it, what's going to happen. They do these every like 45 days or something like that. And this was a big one. They're basically deciding if they are going to hike interest rates, hold them the same, or start decreasing interest rates. And they didn't cut. They came out yesterday and said that they're going to keep it the same. And they're signaling for one cut for the rest of the year. Remember last week, the previous forecast was for two cuts this year, and I don't see any. Now they're in the camp of one cut. We'll keep a pulse on that to see how that develops moving forward. And then the upcoming reports, the CPI came out yesterday, and the PPI, which is the consumer price index, and the producer price index. They're just economic indicators that economists look at to determine where's inflation and like how's the economy doing and where are prices rising and not rising, etc. So consumer price index came out yesterday. It was cooler than expected, which means prices are rising not as fast as they were, which means inflation is trending down. That's a good thing. And that is what the Fed wanted to hear, but not enough to make them want to cut interest rates. So the PPI comes out today. We'll get another data point there to take a look at. And then just some other economic indicators to consider, and that I'll be monitoring over the next week. Strong economy. The economy still seems to be functioning on all cylinders. The robust job market's still just surprising. And it actually doesn't make sense in a lot of areas, and a lot of data points can contrast each other, which always confuses me. But increasing sales, earnings estimates, like all of the company's reports seem to be doing well, and high household incomes are contributing to the stock market hitting all-time highs, like I mentioned. But it kind of feels like there's pockets of the economy that are either on the brink of recession or already in recession. I feel like there's a lot of weak spots of the economy, but overall it's still very strong. So I'll be looking at all of those things just to keep a pulse on that moving forward. And then next week, I'll have a similar setup, go through the portfolio update just to see where we're at, talk about any dividends, and then the earnings reports, go through a little micro update on a different one of the companies in the portfolio, and then some macro updates with some current events. So that's all I got for you guys.
No controversial questions today.
No, I was going to put, you want
Sure, shoot it.
one? Hunter Biden.
I don't know enough.
Yeah, I don't either.
They're in the sentencing process, I believe. I saw it on the TV a little bit over the past couple of days. But I think they found him guilty on like everything, and they're just deciding whether he's going to go to jail or what to sentence him with.
Hmm. I honestly like don't even know what all he's being charged with.
I don't either. I try to stay out of politics, like we've mentioned a bunch of times, but I do like to at least be aware, and I don't know the details.
Yeah, I don't know any of the details about it.
I know like he is like a drug addict and an alcoholic, and he had an issue with like a gun or something. I know those details at least.
Hmm. Apparently, Trump's is potentially going to be a mistrial. I haven't heard any updates. Apparently, one of the jurors like said something to their cousin or something, and they were stupid enough to post about it online. So it like might be a mistrial, and so he might not be found guilty then for the felonies. I'm not sure.
What did the juror say?
It was something like Trump's going to be found guilty. Like it was like leading to what was going to happen. I forget.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I again, like I feel like I said, that's not a trial that like you can like you know who he is. So again, whoever like the individuals were the jurors, they already had a idea of what they thought of him going in.
For sure.
So I don't think that's really avoidable. But with the law, then I mean, yeah, that will count as a mistrial if they actually have any validation behind it.
Outside of controversial things, my one thing, I guess it's more of a comment that I found really interesting. Pfizer's down 30 something percent over the last 5 years.
Last 5 years, actually just looked it up. I can even share my screen here. 5 years down 32.25%.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
10 years down 2%.
Hmm.
Max is up 447%.
What's that?
Looks like January or August of 94.
Oh, you just mean what do you mean by max? Like their max of all time?
Yeah, like the max
Oh.
the graph shows.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah, but that it's very cheap right now, I think, because when the revenue dropped in Q1 and they posted that scary number, like Lexi's question, a bunch of people just dumped it, right? Like so many people just sold it. Like the revenue is decreasing. They're worried about more revenue decreasing. Um, there weren't many big M&As to be super exciting about, so the price is showing that skepticism basically, or the lack of faith in the stock as of recent. Um, but they have a nice dividend. That's why I'm holding it. I think they're in a good spot to recover. And if you have the philosophy of holding it for income, it's actually really attractive right now because when the stock price goes down, but the dividend stays the same, you're paying less
Right.
per
Yeah.
dividend. So
Do you have a plan to put more money into it, or are you just sticking with the 1,000 for right now?
good question. I do want to put more into it, but I'm figuring out how I'm going to do that. For now, at least for the foreseeable future, it will remain just 1,000, and any other contributions that I make to it, I'll talk about it ahead of doing so.
If you do, or I guess when you decide to make more contributions, are you going to stay with the same or are you going to add on any? Like,
That will all basically depend on the investment thesis and how it progresses. So, like right now, I'm trying to preserve my capital while earning some income and growing my capital through those dividend payments, right? Um, as that continues to shift or develop or add nuance to it or If I just have different initiatives of what I'm trying to achieve, that's as that's when I'll be making then the decisions to change allocations of how much I want to own of this, how much do I want to own of this. Do I want to add money to the portfolio? Do I want to scale back? Right now, I just have a lot of uncertainty with the market where, like I said, we're at all time highs. That's not usually a super exciting place to be buying and adding to your positions. If you're a long-term investor, that's obviously here, none there, because you're hoping for growth over the long run and you don't really care what price you get. But you should always care what price you get because you don't want to overpay for things when there's better opportunities in the future. So right now, that's why I have the strategy of just holding my dividend stocks, playing it a little more safe. I'm not being as aggressive as I normally am or as I am known to be. Um, so I'm just kind of waiting and seeing out how the rest of 2024 plays. So I don't anticipate any changes or me adding to the portfolio or doing anything for the rest of 2024. I think the next 6 months will be really good to track the dividend process, see what the returns are, reevaluate and re-update the portfolio for the next fiscal calendar year.
Cool.
This, I don't know if this actually will affect it, but I know like obviously like the government's fiscal years run different. Like the government's fiscal year is June or July 1st to June 30th. So does that like change like anything I guess on your end with like the market at all?
No, every company has their own fiscal calendar. Like there's the calendar year, and then there's also the fiscal
Okay.
calendar where like a company's some companies are already in Q1 or Q4 of 2025.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's why I
mean?
just
Like
didn't
they're
know like I guess if a company's like fiscal year mattered.
it doesn't really um not for me anyway.
Alrighty.
Is that
I
it?
think you're up, Mern.
Am I up?
Yeah.
All right. Start out with some stats from past week. TikTok over the last 7 days. Actually, let me rewind. This is all for Cook and Depot. I separated it out into my two accounts. So for Cook and Depot, TikTok had 33,000 views, 1,193 likes, and an addition of 42 followers. So I'm currently at 1,698 followers. On Instagram over the last 7 days on Cook and Depot, um, there's a way that you can see the accounts reached and it shows you exactly which video they were reached by. So there's 13 videos that are still getting views, even though I'm talking about the last 7 days. From videos even prior, before the last 7 days, are still getting views. 3,329 accounts were reached, in addition of 3 new followers. So I'm at 89 followers on Cook and Depot. And for my Mern account, I forgot to add the TikTok studio thing, and it said that it would be processing and to come back in 1 to 2 days. So I was kind of just finding my own stats. So I didn't have the actual studio page for Mern yet, but I had 1 new follower. So I'm at 37 followers on my Mern TikTok, 417 views between the 2 videos that I posted. And then on my Instagram, over the last 7 days, same thing. I switched it to the professional account, 1 new follower. That was Kyle. So now I'm at 12 and
Hell
286 views between the 2 videos that I posted. So honestly, it was kind of a slow week. I feel like last week, maybe it was just a really good week, depending on what videos I posted. Um, what I will say is on TikToks on my Cook and Depot, the notifications that I'm getting are mostly still for last week's videos. So I'm still getting a lot of likes and stuff like that. It's just not really on my videos from this week. It's more so on my videos from last week. But I mean, likes, engagement, it's all the same thing regardless of which video it's coming from.
Yeah.
Some stuff for just general stuff for TikTok. I kind of already said this, but views were a little bit lower this week than they were last week. I just want to make sure I still stay consistent. And I do want to try to think of more unique foods so that maybe that helps with the dip in views. I do need to post my DIY video still. I didn't do that. I have it like filmed ready to go. I just haven't posted it. Thinking because with the schedule that I made, I kind of like laid out all my food videos through July 9th. So I'm toying with the idea of just switching stuff around and adding it in the schedule, or making the DIY a second video and posting 2 in one day. That is something that I haven't done yet, so it would be something just good experience to like test around, see what happens. So I'm toying with that idea. I'm also toying
The idea is the DIY adding it to the schedule.
like
Is that what you're
posting it as a second video in one day. Cuz like right now I only post one video per day.
I would
So in
say
addition to like a food video, also post the DIY, have both posted the same day.
I would say post both because I mean,
Yeah.
again, like it's two different types of content. So,
For sure.
and again, like you said, you haven't done it, so it's a learning experience anyway.
Yeah. Just trying around, testing new things for sure.
Yeah.
Another video I kind of just had the idea to do is, obviously everything I make doesn't turn out great. There are things that I cook and I'm like, this is awful, and I don't post it. Or maybe even it's not awful, it's just not great and not good enough for something that I want to post. So I might make a video of just like quick snippets of all the videos that I've recorded but haven't wanted to post, just as kind of like a reminder that everything you cook isn't going to turn out great kind of thing. The videos that I have been making recently have been, on average, I'd say around 30 seconds, typically between, I'd say, 15 seconds and 45 seconds ish. So I just kind of have in my head that it's fine and great that I'm making the videos however long I want right now. But once I get to the point where I have 10,000 followers and I'm in the creativity beta program, you have to post a video that's 60 seconds or longer in order to be eligible to make money off of it. So I was just kind of like brainstorming and thinking, had that on my mind this week. And so whenever I get to that point, my thought with that is that I could make a shorter version and a longer version of the same recipe and post both on the same day whenever I get to that point, so that I'm still getting the 60-second video in, but I can also have the short form too, just to see how that goes. So that's all I had for Cook and Depot stuff. For Mern, I made a bio for both of them because I've had have had quite a few people looking at my profile, and I didn't really have anything in my bio. I had, I think, just like the Florida with the little location emoji. So I made a little bio that says Florida lifestyle with I forget if I did the waves. I did some kind of like beachy emoji with it. And then I did restaurant reviews with like the little plate and silverware emoji next to it. And then explore new places, and I had the plane next to it. So it's a cute little bio I have now on my Instagram and my TikTok. So when people come to my page, they know what kind of content they're going to be getting. And I did come up with, I can't remember if I talked about this on recording briefly or if it was when we stopped recording and we were just chit chatting, but Dine or Don't is a series I made for Mern, and I had already posted, or I already filmed, I forget which, when we recorded last week's episode, but because we pushed recording back, I wanted to still include it in this week's because it was technically within that 7 days. So I made up this series called Dine or Don't, where I'm basically just gonna try new restaurants and review my experience, say how I liked it, and give it a rating out of 5 stars kind of thing. So I have 2 videos posted for Dine or Don't so far. The second one I just posted yesterday, so the ratings on that will be included in next week's video. I'm like trying to like keep myself straight here on week stuff. But I want to start reposting my Dine or Don't videos on my Cooking Depot account. So like when they pop up on my page, how Lex you do for my Cooking Depot stuff,
Yeah.
I want to start reposting those so that like the people that are watching my videos are kind of connected on both accounts.
Yeah, I like that. Just like use each account to repost the others.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last thing for Mern, I want to research just kind of some hidden gems around where I live to explore and make some content out of those kind of places. For TikTok shop updates, I didn't post anything this week linking stuff to the TikTok shop. The one video that I was gonna link and link the things, Lex, that I told you, the little condiment things. It wouldn't let me link it with the sound that I chose on that video. It said something like commercial sounds only or something like that. So I don't know if it has to be like a TikTok certified sound. I have to look more into it. So I didn't post any links for TikTok shop, but I was thinking maybe this upcoming week do kind of like a bonus video, kind of like what I was talking about with the DIY stuff, and post my normal video and then post a video linking something in TikTok shop in addition to it.
Yeah.
So I'll have 2 in one day for that as well. Just some general things new that I've noticed on TikTok. It notified me that you can now upload up to 60 minutes. It used to be up to 10 minutes.
Whew.
So,
You can upload a 60-minute video on TikTok.
yep, that's a new thing that I saw for the first time the other day.
I did not know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll never post a video that long. The only thing that I like for that reason is it helps with editing, because when I go to upload all the videos that I want to make a video out of, before, if it was longer than 10 minutes of content, which whenever I record, I'm not always hitting start and stop. Like sometimes I'm just recording for a lengthy period of time and I end up chopping it and just only use little pieces of it. But whenever I first upload it, sometimes I'd have like 14 minutes of footage that I need to sort through. Unless it was at that 10-minute mark or shorter, it wouldn't save it as a draft. Like it had to be less than 10 minutes to save as a draft so that I could go back and continue editing it. So the 60-minute thing is only nice in that regard, where you can upload as much as you want, save it as a draft, and come back and edit it later. Obviously, as long as it's less than 60 minutes. It just does use storage on your phone. So since I discovered that a couple weeks ago, I really only edit the video the day prior. I don't keep a lot in my drafts anymore, but it is still nice to have that option. I did listen to a couple of podcasts while I was just doing stuff around the house.
Hell yeah.
One of you guys suggested it, Lex, maybe
It was.
last week. And the one podcast, she said that like right off the bat, she was applying to every affiliate program she could, even though she really didn't have a following. So I definitely need to start looking into that. I haven't. And I do have kind of a following on TikTok. At least I have almost 2,000 followers. So enough that I should at least be able to do small kind of affiliate programs, you know?
Yeah.
So I need to look into that. And then the other thing, and the other podcast that I was listening to, she was kind of just like, at first it's weird, like calling yourself an influencer, especially around like people, you know, your family, your friends, and that you just kind of have to own it. Like it's going to be weird for a little bit, and eventually it just won't be weird anymore. It's just like going to be normal for all your family and friends. She was saying how she at first like blocked all her family and friends, like didn't want any of them following her, but that's like how you get started, you know? Like we were talking about with your stuff, Lex, how most of your first few followers are all family and friends. So I just thought that was a cool comment to note on that. and just things that I want to get done this upcoming week. I want to, like, how you can link accounts in your profiles. I don't have my TikTok and Instagrams linked in the respective accounts. So, like, my Cookin' Depot Instagram account, I want to link my TikTok in for Cookin' Depot. And then on TikTok for Cookin' Depot, I want to attach my Instagram. You know what I mean? I want to connect the Instagram and TikTok accounts for each of those. So that's on my list of things that I want to get done this upcoming week. I want to pin a video. I haven't done that. So I'm just trying to decide if I want to pin the video that I have the most views on, if I want to make a video kind of just like introducing myself kind of thing and pin that so that if someone comes to my page, they can get like a short summary of what the page is. So I need to play around with different ideas of what I want to do. I just
Sorry.
what was that?
That's shield.
Oh, but
A shield?
It's like a US Army can you pin multiple videos?
yeah, I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but
Well, then
you
why
can
don't
pin a couple.
I would say why don't you post one introducing yourself, pin that, and then also pin your most viewed. I would just
I
say
could do
pin
that.
both of those because again, you're getting
You can pin 4 videos.
okay. I would
I've
say
seen 4
definitely
pinned.
at least pin those two. An introduction of yourself and then also your most viewed.
What was I going to say next? Oh, I have my Cookin' Depot linked in my personal private account. I haven't linked my Mern yet, which this kind of ties back into like owning the influencer, which I hate the term influencer. Like, I'd rather just call it a content creator. I think that sounds a lot nicer. But I like have in my head that I don't want to link Mern until I have enough content posted that it like doesn't look like I only have one video on my page. So I do need to link that. I'm just kind of maybe after this week I'll have I think enough that it'll be like at least when you click on my page it looks like it's full. Obviously you're not going to have anything to scroll on, but it's not like only 2 posts on my page at that point. And then this week I got a lot of cooking to do. I'm doing a grilled cheese series, just making all different kinds of grilled cheese with stuff that I have at my house. And I also need to prep all of my 4th of July content because I'll be leaving to come up to Pittsburgh on the 26th. So I want to have all that done this week so that it's taken care of. And just some goals. I would say that my 2 priority goals higher than anything else is just to make my first dollar. And then in order to do that, I would have to have 10,000 followers on TikTok or use TikTok Shop, one of the two. So my 2 biggest goals right now, 10,000 followers and making $1.
Hell
And
yeah.
that's all I got.
Hell yeah.
So I guess I'm not like I think you're in like the weird stage how you're talking about like not like if like the weird influencer thing like that you're talking about, but like you
Yeah.
don't want to post or like add your Mern to your personal. I think it's kind of the same hurdle you went over with Cooking Depot though, because you still were nervous to post your Cooking Depot to your personal originally. Like I understand like you're trying to do it for like aesthetic purposes, but who cares?
Yeah, I also think it has to do with like my personal preferences for my personal Instagram. Like I get annoyed when people post a lot on my personal. Like obviously I wouldn't on one of my other like my Cooking Depot or Mern because like that's what you do in that kind of realm. But like I get annoyed when people post a lot, so I don't want to post a lot to annoy those people kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean if you're just linking your page.
Yeah.
I mean, you're there to see posts. Like, That is the point of the platform. You're there to see
For
posts. You
sure.
can't be mad at
For
it,
sure.
but you're there.
For sure.
I mean, again, and also like you don't even have to necessarily post it. You can just put the link to your page in your other
Okay,
page.
fine. Okay, fine. You bullied me into it. I'll do it.
I'm just saying, like, I think like you have the same hurdle with Cooking Depot, and
How many videos do I have posted? Let me see.
you wanted to wait, you wanted to make sure that this, that, and the other. I think you just need to bite the
6.
bullet. I mean, don't get me wrong, like it is scary in a way. Like you're becoming vulnerable to a lot of people who are not necessarily nice. The world isn't nice, so I get why like you're hesitant on it, but I would just say if you're going to do it and you want to do it, who cares?
I'm not like, I mean, I hear you. I'm not trying to discredit what you're saying right now, but I'm not worried about people being mean. I just don't want to like be like throwing it in your face constantly, shoving it, you know what I mean? Like
I get that, but I mean, I don't necessarily think that you're throwing
I
it in
added it.
people's faces. I mean, like again, I feel like I see your posts only because I follow those accounts. Like I'm not really seeing anything on your personal account.
I think the analogy that I can compare is in sales, you can't make the sale unless you ask for the sale. And it's the same thing with asking people to follow you. They can't follow you and they can't see your content if you don't post a lot of content.
Sure.
Yeah.
I linked it.
Good.
It's done.
Okay.
Well done.
Now, shout out Cooking Depot, Mern.
Yeah, my account on TikTok and Instagram for Cookin' Depot is cookin.depot, cooking without the G, cookin.depot. And then my account on Instagram and TikTok, both for Mern, is Mern __. And I guess I should spell, like most people probably don't know what the heck I'm saying. Mern is my nickname. It's MERN. So MERN __.
There. And I forgot to mention mine. So my Instagram is anything
yeah.
cricket co, and same with my Etsy shop, anything cricket co. All right. Anything else anyone wants to add?
Yeah, I have a couple comments for
Okay.
Amanda.
Shoot.
Definitely stay consistent. How did it make you feel motivation wise seeing a down week in terms of results and data?
Good question. It didn't discourage me. It was just kind of like, well, what the heck? Like, it was more kind of like, why?
Flexing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And I still continued to post every day, and I still will continue to post every day. And I was kind of like clicking on just random people's profiles that I follow, just looking at what their views are like.
I got a
And
notification.
it's kind of, well, yours actually, I clicked on yours because I was curious when I went to go hit repost on Cookin' Depot for the Mern one. It said like it would show the video on my profile. So I went to go look at yours to see if my videos show up on yours, which they don't. So I didn't want them to show up on my profile. I just wanted them to show up on like people's pages that follow me. You know what I mean? So that's what I was doing looking at yours. But other people I was looking at, views are really like all over the place, up and down. Like the one girl that I was looking at, she has, I think it was like 90 something thousand followers. And some of her videos only had like in the hundreds or even like 1,000, 2,000 views. So I would say, looks like normal for that to happen. I just think it's weird how one week, like almost every single video I posted last week had significant, for me, views. Obviously not significant like thousands, millions of views, but a significant jump in views for me, and then to have significantly lower for basically all the videos this week. It was just weird how it was all like that.
I think it's a good point of reference for the days when you are getting the results and you are getting a video
Yeah.
that blows up and you're like, why? And it's like, at the end of the day, there's only so much that you can
Yeah.
control. And like, that's what you need to focus on the big wins and the weeks where it's just like not making sense.
Well,
So,
and I have a feeling that the fact that you can pay for views has an influence on it too. Like TikTok is going to
for
push
sure.
the videos that people are paying.
There's only
Yeah.
so many views that can be shown, and
Yeah.
if there's people paying for it and there's an influx of people
Right.
paying for it,
Right.
there's only so many other free views that they're
Yeah.
gonna
Right.
show for sure.
Especially all the people who like were once like blew up and they want to continue being blown up and having all of that. So I'm sure they're
Yeah.
probably actively paying for some of them as well. So again, like,
Right.
it's nothing that you can really control.
Yeah, and like this one girl's video popped up on my thing that was like her like trying to get to 10,000 followers kind of thing. And so I clicked on hers and she had, I want to say like 3 or 4,000 followers, slightly more than I do, but I was consistently getting more views. Like on that video in particular, she had like a couple 100,000. It was like around 500,000 views, something like that. But whenever I looked at all the other videos that she has on her page, I'm consistently getting, I would say, more than her overall. So I thought that was a good thing. I like what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing it. At the end of the day, one low week is not going to change anything.
Okay.
Gotcha. 2 questions. Why do you have the 1 per day rule? I know that that was instituted because you wanted to post at least that much, but why are you hesitant about posting 7 per day if you have it? I know that you don't want to wear out the calendar and shit too, but it goes into my next question, which I'll just combine the two. Why not post some fail posts, like you were saying, of like
Yeah.
humanizing the page, humanizing yourself, of like, shit, this was what it's supposed to look like. This is what it looks
No,
like.
definitely. That was one of
Just to add more to your repertoire.
that was definitely one of the things that I like added to my mental list of things this week that I said earlier. Just make a video of all the different videos that I haven't posted, the meals that aren't like picture perfect worthy kind of thing. So that's definitely something that I want to do in regards to the 1 per day thing. Burnout, honestly. And actually, in the one podcast that I was listening to, she was like, social media is constantly changing. And a couple years ago, it definitely was quantity over quality. And now it's more so quality over quantity. She's like, even if you only post 3 to 6 times a week, it's better to have quality content than quantity. And honestly, I just can't cook that much food to post that much. You know what I mean? I could start to do twice a day and just edit the video different kind of thing. But if I'm consistent,
I think I think you're thinking you have to cook something novel and new for the 1 per day rule, which like I think that's a great manageable expectation to set for yourself moving forward. The way you get to 3 to 4 posts per day is by reposting old ones. You can do that. Just repost one that was done really well. Repost it. It did well. Another thing you can do is compilation videos. Splice the best scenes from each video for the last 10 videos, put one together with just some overview music, post it. Some of the fail posts, maybe even just some pictures too. Like you can do just picture posts as well, of just a bunch of pictures, like a post that has 10 pictures of just finished products that you've made. I think there can be some diversity in what you're trying to post so you don't feel like there's so much work into making the 1 per day.
I like that.
I
You know what
also
I
like
mean?
kind of to what Kyle's saying, like even like the pictures of like your mess ups or whatever. You could do like expectation versus reality, or like
Hmm.
what you like. You could have that as like your not like fail because I wouldn't call them as a fail. They just didn't turn out
Yeah,
as what exactly you wanted. So
for
you could
sure.
say like again, your expectation for it, but this is what reality was
Yeah.
type thing.
Then the last couple of comments here. I love the Dine or Don't series. I think you can do that so much more. That is something that I would even look forward to seeing because I think that's just really quality content. In terms of quality versus quantity, that I totally agree with. Like if you're going to fucking McDonald's on the corner doing a Dine or Don't, like it's probably just best to wait next time you actually go to a
Mhm.
restaurant worth reviewing. But I love that series. Excited to see where that goes. I do have a question here of like, do you think you could get to a point to earn your first dollar faster offering a course or a package or an affiliate program? Like, um, need help with your meal plan prepping? Like, that's something that like a 30-minute phone call for $25 to put together a meal prep for you, talk about the logistics, and go over a grocery shopping list. That's something that's like you could do for 30 minutes with somebody, make 25 bucks. That's not a bad rate. And that's something then would give you a ton of quality content where that person posts it, shares it with other people, etc. And then you can figure out ways to scale that moving forward. But diet advice, meal plan, all those type of things that you're accumulating a knowledge base for, you can eventually sell that knowledge in terms of courses or packages.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
I like the thought.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that's me or not. I don't know that I would.
yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it's a good idea. And actually you reminded me last week I was talking about doing a video just comparing labels. That's something that I could do as like a second video because it would be super easy.
Dude, I like that. I like that a
And
lot.
like I've been so into that lately.
That's clickbaity too. That's clickbaity. That's like so if you put what's really in your food as like
Yeah.
a clickbait thing, like that's really gonna drive views. That's something that comes up. People who do shit like that come up on my feed all
yeah.
the time. And it's just because it's like it's something that when someone sees it, they really want to
Yeah.
engage with it and see what the fuck is going
Mhm.
on. That's a good idea. And then my last four comments are just four bullet points. YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Facebook.
I get 3 of the
That's all I gotta
4.
say. That's all I gotta say. That's all I
LinkedIn?
gotta say. Yeah, fuck yeah. Go look at LinkedIn and find me 5 people in your niche, and I'll show you 5 people who are making a fuck ton of money.
Niche.
Yeah, it's niche, not niche.
Niche. Niche. I
What the
say
fuck is
niche.
niche?
I do need to get into YouTube for sure. I guess Snapchat as well. I feel like I haven't even been liking Snapchat as much lately personally. Like Snapchat was my jam. And maybe it's because I'm like so consumed with Instagram and TikTok doing my content
Mhm.
stuff that I just like don't have time to enjoy Snapchat like I used to.
I think I agree with that on the
Yeah.
Snapchat piece, but I think LinkedIn and Facebook are literally so plug and play. Like as soon as you're done with your TikTok and Instagram, you're just posting it there too. It's just
Instagram has
another
like a Reels page.
what?
How would I post it on or
Snapchat?
I mean LinkedIn?
No, you just post it as a video. They just have a feed. It's kind of more like Facebook, how Facebook used to be, where like you're in a feed, there's people you follow, and then it can also post stuff just like a Twitter feed or an Instagram feed where they'll post stuff that they think you'll like
I
too.
don't even know how to use
So
LinkedIn for
there's
my personal needs.
it's a great reason. I think it is the Snapchat of 2017. LinkedIn.
Yeah, I have one. I never go on it.
Yeah.
It's wow, that's crazy. But I think you at least just think about it and play around with it. Facebook's no excuse whatsoever. You need to make sure that your posts are getting on there
Yeah,
too.
I really think you should be
Yeah.
posting to Facebook as well. Because I
So
mean,
do I need to you're right. You're right. I do. But how would I so do I need to make like a Cook and Depot account on Facebook? How do I post it on there?
No, no. Just go into your settings on Instagram and say post automatically to
yeah,
But
Facebook.
how would it
she
It should create whatever it is on the other side. Maybe
no,
you're
she
right.
needs an
Maybe
account. You need to join the accounts together.
okay. Maybe that's right. But either way, that's something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Because that's literally so it just does it automatically. There's no extra step. Once you get those two accounts connected, that's like every post is now you have two posts a day. You're posting one, but you're getting two. Now you're at two
Well, then
posts a day.
technically
Just
I'm already at 2 because I post the same thing on Instagram and TikTok.
all right, then you'd be at 4. It's exponential.
Okay, Facebook, YouTube, recipe fail. I already kind of had that in my notes. What else? Oh, the label thing.
The label thing.
Okay.
Do that ASAP. That's really cool.
Yeah, I've been so into that stuff lately, and just like healthy for foods versus non-healthy foods and what's actually good for you, what they say is good for you. Like, yeah, I should.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that does it for today's episode of the 3Path Profits podcast. We want to thank you guys for listening and encourage you to leave comments or questions to help us improve moving forward. We'll be posting episodes every Friday, so please stay tuned and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any episodes or important updates. If you did enjoy the podcast, please tell a friend or family member you think would enjoy it. And also, please be sure to check out our social media pages, TikTok and Instagram at 3.path.profits. And we appreciate your support, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.
Peace.
Deuces.